Hey, Mark. And roll sound, rolling.
And action.
The Son is the adaptation of one of my plays called Also the Son. I wrote it a few years ago.
It's Nicholas.
Did something happen?
Yes.
Well, it's about mental health and depression and how it affects an entire family, really.
Hey. So much of The Son is about how trauma or challenges or damage from our own childhoods.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to swim.
End up playing out again, generationally, over and over, until someone or something happens to stop that.
The Son is about a 16-year-old boy in pain and trying to understand what's happening to him.
Nicholas, I can't help you if you won't tell me anything.
And it's how his troubles then highlight the troubles in the family.
And the heartbreak of not having the answers. Love you.
I have to say that I used my personal experience as a son and also as a father.
What Florian does so uniquely well is vividly and cinematically reflecting our lives back to us.
Well, we first did it in the theatre. Florian put it on in French in Paris. I went to see it, translated it. We put it on in London, and then proceeded actually quite quickly to turn it into a screenplay in the wake of The Father.
Don't need her or anyone else. I can manage very well on my own.
Wasn't easy to find her, you know.
Oh.
This isn't easy.
And he also wanted to set the film in America to New York and Washington from Paris.
I remember that the first image that I had was the main character, Peter, in a train between New York City and Washington, D.C. It was a man traveling between his present, his family and things like that, and his future, in a way, his ambition.
You're still in New York?
Still in New York, yeah.
Immediately, I had this intuition that maybe that city, Washington, D.C., was also the place where he grew up and maybe the place where his own father lives.
Oh, you're early.
Hello, Dad.
And so, in a way, it was also a man trying to navigate between his present, his future, but also his past.
From the moment I had the first phone call with Florian, I knew that this would be a collaboration that I would never forget. I think to understand my character, for me, it was really important to understand his upbringing.
Keep catching myself saying things, exactly the same things my father used to say to me when I was young. Things which made me genuinely hate him.
I felt very strongly that he would be extraordinary in this part because he was already so connected with the emotions that I wanted to explore. And there was so many things in his life. There is something special about him.
It's been such a close experience with Hugh and with Zen, and they are both the kindest people you'll ever meet, and genuine and compassionate and deeply honest about the subject matter, as is our director.
And then I met Laura Dern. I have always adored her. And also, she's a real mom in real life.
Banana bread.
I think she feels she's predominantly single-parented, and now they are in crisis after this difficult divorce. There's so much heartbreak in it, and guilt in it, and confusion, and resentments. And this is where she begins in this story.
I don't know what to do anymore. He needs you, Peter.
I knew that she would be capable to bring something without trying to perform it.
Nicholas, are you all right?
Before this, I wasn't very aware of, Florian's work and The Son as the play. So it was cool coming to it with a fresh mind, I guess.
And I have to say that the minute I met Zen on Zoom, I knew it was the right person. There is such a special sensibility in him.
For Zen to come in his first movie and do that, I think is astonishing. And his courage, his honesty, he has this perfect mix of being very humble as a young man, but not overawed by the situation.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
When you met my dad, did you know he was married?
I think Beth, I just found her really interesting when I read the script because she's almost like, she's one of the more like silent characters, really. In so many of the scenes, she's really not able to say what she's thinking. Here's your coffee. You've got about 5 minutes. What's the matter?
Nothing.
I really sort of felt that her stillness in a way and her sort of integrity.
You always see things in such a dark light.
It's better to see something in a dark light than to not see it at all.
Vanessa Kirby, I think she's so intense and gifted as an actress. What impressed me the most is that she's so committed. You know, every time she's making a film, she gives everything she has and everything she is to the world.
And it was just wonderful, really, to support a film about something so important, so rarely spoken about.
Is that why you came to see me? To tell me what a good dad you are?
Actually, the only actor that I had in mind was Anthony Hopkins, because it was a new character.
So what do you want? Applause? Bravo.
And we had such a powerful and intense journey together with the father that I really wanted to work with him again.
As a production designer, I have to step into the shoes of all the characters. So I do have to kind of become the characters to project where they would live. So for Kate's apartment, we landed on Brooklyn because it's such a great area and it really contrasts with Soho, which is where we put Peter and Beth's apartment.
Look at you. You should wear that to the party. When is it? Next Saturday, isn't it?
We want to be able to understand where we are very quickly, so the visual contrast was quite important. Setting Kate's in Brooklyn was wonderful because we had that really great sense of that historic building and the brownstones in rows and rows and the trees outside the windows, and to have that real sense of community and family there was very important.
Kate's apartment's just lovely, warm. I got my PlayStation, my video games, I got my toys. It's funny, my room in Kate's apartment looked very much like my real room.
Whereas, yes, for Peter and Beth's, put them in a very lovely loft apartment in Soho.
It almost felt colder in the new apartment, like I was trying to fit into a place that I felt like I didn't belong. A lot of concrete, you know, brick walls, and you look out, it's very industrial.
So it was great actually working with Florian on the layout of the apartment for Peter and Beth.
This moment of the suicide, when we hear the gunshot, I wanted something very truthful again.
We put in a long corridor into the set to connect all the rooms, but also for a kind of final moment when Nicholas goes and collects the gun. We've got this space that we can kind of look through, and we can be in the corridor and we can see him traveling through the corridor. We can also see the reaction as the gun is fired.
The way we did it is that I told the actors, Hugh and Laura, that it would be only like a rehearsal.
I love doing that. It was like playing hooky.
So they were not aware that I was shooting that moment. I told them that they will have no sound of this gunshot, because you cannot, you know, fake the surprise 10 times.
Come with us.
And so we did that rehearsal, which was not a rehearsal with the actors. And at the end of that moment, I just give the top for the sound. And because they are so gifted, they played with it. So it was great to have that moment of truth. In the end, we did just one take.
We love working with filmmakers. They've got something to say about the world. I think with the father and now with the son, Florian is really sort of showing how he can take on really challenging subject matter, but make something very human, very special, and very important.
He just has this ability to allow you to feel free within the character, but there is just such a strength of vision of what is needed from every single scene, what is needed from the part, what is needed from every part, and what the story is about.
He has both seen it in the writing, he's seen it in the productions he's done, and he's thrown all of that away to see something entirely new. And the balance of that, when you're dealing with adaptation, is gorgeous.
Good boy! Good boy!
A movie like The Son, I know, is vital to begin conversations, to open people's hearts. The phrase, never worry alone, is so important.
Why have you hidden a knife under your mattress?
What?
The general public isn't trained to see depression, so hopefully this continues a conversation around it. I feel very honored to be part of continuing that discussion.
Personally, I believe it will have an overall positive effect because people will become more empathetic to people who suffer from stuff like this, and people talk about it more, and it will become, more mainstream, which is a good thing because people need to be talking about this kind of stuff.
Not only working with Florian, but this incredible crew, this incredible cast, it's been very challenging and rewarding. And one of the best experiences I've ever had.